Fantastic. He's quicker than mine or to run to or same. Right. So you want to run Alfie, just to get that question clear, you want to run understand how to run multiple brokers or how to install them. I've done a session on the YouTube channel. You can go in, I'll send the link. And you can see how I install multiple brokers. To run two of the same broker, NT4D, just copy the original NT4. Yes, so you can install multiple brokers, NT4 platforms, and just log into each one from that NT4. Again, watch the video because I go into detail. I'll send the link in here. 1 second. Let's go YouTube. Channel and sessions. And this is the one. NT4. So you want to watch this video. Okay, sweet. Thanks for you. Watch that video. It goes into installing multiple NT4 platforms. It was only just posted a couple of hours ago. But I think this is a good idea. If you're going live, you can really be fussy with certain things like this. So I know from now on, when I do go live, I'm using IC Markets, Live 5 server, and I will probably more than likely go with MyForex VPS because they got 1 millisecond connection from the VPS to the data feed, the broker data feed, and that's going to help execution, especially when you're executing so fast in latencies and shit like that. Anyway, let me see if I missed out any more questions. Yeah, Choco, these are the guys. Check the groups. Anyone else with any questions? I think next week I'll probably do a session, just random times, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And show how I've got everything set up. I think that would be cool to do live market conditions. Just trying to see if there's any additional questions. Again, like the safest thing to do is just don't trade New York session. Yeah, that's coming soon. Mansion's coming soon. 1 second. For close all profit button, can the EA calculate the new TP price immediately after close the profit trades? It should automatically adjust the take profit because of the way that the magic numbers are set up. So if you close all the ones in profit, it's only going to consider the ones that are in the loss. So it should actually do that automatically. Let's just switch the EE on now and let's have a muck around. It's only a demo account anyway. Doesn't really matter the settings, to be honest. Let's leave this on, and switch this on. Let me just check magic numbers. Cool. All right, so I'll just switch the EA on. Go full margin. If I was in this situation, I'd probably only put for buys anyway. And that's the other technique, is that if you know the market is going to go bullish, you can take advantage of this and set this for longs in here and set only long, and it's only going to take long positions. Let's just have a look at the settings in here. Let's push this a bit. Oh, fuck it. It doesn't really matter. Take profit, pips 100, stop, this fine. I am using version 5. Step size in pips. $1.23. Let's just load desktop. 2% or 2% set file. 100, 185, step lot 4, max 1. Enable grid. Well, let's put enable grid both. Stop loss 100, take profit 100. Cool. Open one trade. Not using that. Minimal call. Yeah, let's keep that on. I know people have had trouble using the minimal profit, but let's leave that on. I want to get myself into some drawdown. Trading stop true. Take equities false. Max spread. Filter caution of equity. Set this to false. Let's put this to true. Let's put 3%. Don't need that. Close all orders. Okay, cool. Yeah, unfortunately, he's already got a Lambda from probably scamming all the people. That's all right. Got to do what you got to do. It's not opening any orders yet. So are most of you on FTMO accounts or Funding Talent? Dude, you've got a Lambo for sure, man. My Forex funds. How's that going, My Forex funds? Are you phase 1, phase 2? Stage 2 on 2 accounts. Nice. So it shouldn't take you too long to get that across, man. And did you use stage 1 with My Forex funds as well? Sorry, with the CA. wonder if I've lost connection. It's gone dead. Yeah, Tuesday. I made a loss on Tuesday. I was actually on break even. Let's look at the chart for Tuesday. And this is why if you have a trade plan, you can survive that. And to be honest, that really wasn't a big move. I know you lost heavy, but I really didn't see that this. It was like a 200 pip move, and you should be able to survive these 200 pip moves. Yeah. And if you look at that, if we go, hold on. Let's move all this off. This was here, it was here. So this is what happened on Tuesday, Monday. And I'm just wondering also, where did you lose? Was it during the New York session, or did you have it open? Because ideally you should be switching it off at least an hour before New York opens. 10, 11, 12. This is GMT 10, 11, 12. So roughly about here. So if you were in cells, you would have got out of that. No, that was the London push at set. Yeah, okay. This is the London here. I'm assuming you got from this section here, but I was running a equity stop. Okay. This is a 400 pip move. You should look at trying to survive moves like this. This is where I made, or somewhere also it was on Tuesday, I got caught in this. But I'm running very tight, only 6 open positions. So when I was coming up into here, I'd stopped my EA and I'd actually placed a sell limit here. And I was able to exit. And you can do that just by looking at the higher time frames. So if you come into the larger time frames, like 1 hour or even the 4 hour, and you just look for key areas of support and resistance, and you say, right, so you can see that this area here, and I'll show you why. You can see it's been respected, 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 and there's some sort of wicks. There's also a huge imbalance of price here to be filled. So I was already expecting the market to go up, and I was in sells. So then what I did, I'll come down to the lower time frames. And then I take the most recent. So then I can see, right, for example, this is an area of importance. And so I start to plan my sell limits. So let's delete this now, because this is the 4 hour. So I can delete this because now I know that this is an area of importance, and also up here. So once I reached my 6 open position, so for example, I think I was about here and I was in about $40 of drawdown. Actually, no. I think it was about here. I remember roughly being there. I was in $40 drawdown. I knew I had another 500 pips for the market to hit my stop loss, which is somewhere ridiculous up there. And so I already set my sell limits. So I come in here and you can just, I don't know, take this point. So I took that point and I take this area I set manual sell limits. One here, the second here, using the multiplier. So my max open position on the 6 is 0.06. I then come to the calculator times, I put 0.06 times 1.357. And our open position here, again, times 1.357, open position. And to be honest, it can be anywhere along there. It really, to be honest, it really doesn't matter. It's about surviving. So I managed to just get in an entry when it came for the second retest, and I was out of the position. And that's how I manage my drawdowns. I have a maximum of 6 open positions. And each position is 100 pips. Again, 6 open orders for me is a maximum of $40 drawdown. I only need 30 pips from the 6 open position to hit my TP. And I know at the 6 open position, I have a 500 pip hard stop for all 6 positions, which will give me a 2% loss. And that's my plan. That's my trade plan. And I've got 2 additional positions. If I want to survive situations like this, I can. And that's how I deal with it. So the multiplier, the standard multiplier is 1.357. But when I start a fresh account, I'm always using 1.2, 1.25. There's drawbacks and there's positives and negatives. If you're using 1.25, your take profit is going to be further away. If you're using a multiplier of 1.357, your take profit is going to be closer. So if you have 5 open positions and you're using a multiplier of 1.25, your take profit is probably going to be about 35 pips. But if you're using a multiplier of 1.357 and you've got 5 open positions, your take profit is going to be tighter, like 25 pips. And your trade has to work less to hit the take profit if you're using a higher multiplier. And the negative aspect is that it will accumulate greater drawdown using a higher multiplier. But if you're using a lower multiplier, your drawdown is reduced, but the trade needs to work harder to get out of trades. So to compensate using a low multiplier of 1.2, I set sell limits or buy limits manually. If I was using a 1.35 multiplier on a 0.02 start lot with a maximum of 0.30, I would have to space out my steps from 100 to maybe 110. So there's a balance about really thinking about each of those variables, and it's deciding what variable or what your trade plan is. For me, I use a 1.25 to pad, to cushion the account, to add some equity to that account. And I set manual sell limits as needed. And then once there's equity in the account, you can start using 1.35 because the trades, it will have to work less to actually get out of drawdown. That's a good question. I don't actually know. The only thing I would advise is try not to use this, the backtesting feature in MT4. It's not very reliable. You do really need to download tick data. And it's quite easy to find out your trade plan, because what you need to do is open up 5 MT4s use different settings for each ones that you're comfortable with, and then watch for a 1,500 pip move. Once you hit that 1,500 pip move, you have the calculations to work out your trade plan. And then if you want to survive a 3,000 pip move, you just, decrease your settings. So try and do it in the live situation where you're getting the live data feed. That's going to make a big difference, because NT4 doesn't really give you that great, that much of data feed. You really need to download the data feed, and the reliability just isn't that great, to be honest. So try and use the live market conditions. And that's why I ran so many MT4s for about a month, to really refine those settings. So now I have a Asian set file, a London set file, and a New York set file. And then I have a low risk set file. And these are what work for me.
Hello.
Hi there.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Hey.
Hi. This is Jeannie. How are you?
Hey, I'm
I know you've been.
awesome. Jeannie, I think I recognize.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're at the one
Yeah.
in New York, right?
Yes, I am.
All right. Awesome. Great.
Yeah. So I have a question. What is the best set file for the V4, like the best one for a 50K funded account? Because I've been kind of ranting up and down with the V5 not working for me personally. I mean, I heard it works for other people, but it has not worked for me. I've been using the V4 fine. So what I did was I adjusted the SL for the V5 from 1,000 to 2,000, and this was suggested in the group, and that's how I lost my funded account. So I'm trying to see if I was to go back to the V4, what would be the best settings for a 50K or even a 10K. I'm running actually the 10K account on V4, but I have not been able to see profits from it. To me, it's just kind of strange. So
Okay.
I wish I was here earlier to kind of watch you on
Yeah.
how
I'll show you the issue that people are having. Sorry, my cat in the background. And
it's fine.
There is a stop loss feature, and I actually find it really useful.
Okay.
But I think what's happening is it's just being just not working for people, and that's here. As you could just set that to false profit protection. And that's probably going to save a lot of the questions, because I actually prefer version 5.
Right. I see that you're a big advocate for 5.
Yeah. And, I do have the latest version also that was just sent a couple of hours ago, also by Faris. But the main issue seems to be this. And I think on version 4, this has been completely removed. And the settings for that file have also been collaborated to just work out of the box. So I'm just going to actually just pull that across. I'm just going to grab that file. It's in, and I just want to load it also. 1 second. Admins, Andro.
So when you have the V5, the default settings for those two inputs that you had there, I don't know the right terminology, so excuse me, but you had something that said false, right?
Yes.
So
correct.
so was the default true? Does somebody have to actually go in and change it to false?
Yes, correct. I think the default, I've just loaded
Oh,
the default and it's true.
oh shoot.
So
Wow.
I advise switching it off to false. And also another bit of advice is open up two charts, left and right, of gold. Oh, my time's going to
Mm-hmm.
run out. And manually copy over those settings to a new, fresh
Chart.
chart.
Right.
That also tends to screw things up. I'm just going to copy the latest version onto the VPS. It's already on there. Let's load. I'm just going to
The
load.
set file that I used was it's called the Asian and London session set file. It's actually a set file for the V4, but I was told it doesn't matter, so I can use that set file for the V4 on the V5.
Yeah,
So I don't know how.
I think what the most important thing is understanding the risk that's involved according to the account balance. And that's where things can go wrong. So this is the latest version that I've just loaded up, right? And everything should be just set out of the box. And I'm just going to have a look at for example, you said what was your starting balance?
50,000.
50K. So
Well, actually 53.
all right, cool. So on
Yeah.
a 50K should be 0.5, right? With a max lot of 0.5. So if I go down to max lot, these are just my recommended settings.
Right.
And I'm a very conservative trading approach. And only because I've gone through some of the, I've loaded this EA multiple times, like I've said many times, like 30 plus platforms. I've done consistent tests over different
Testing.
things. So I've come to the mathematical equation that if you have a 10K, you should be using a start lot of 0.01.
Okay.
If you have a 50K, you should be starting at 0.05.
Okay.
Now, if you have the max open positions for a 10K up to a 30K, the max open positions should be 0.30. Then when you go from 0.
For a 10K account, right?
For a 10K.
Okay. So the max is 0.30.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you're using a 40 to a 60K, your maximum open position should be 0.50. And if you have a 70 to 100K, your max open position should be one standard lot. And then you've got the multiplier. It's going to multiply from the first starting position. Multiplier by standard is 1.357. I set mine to 1.25. You don't have to set it that way. I do that because I do a lot of manual trading at the same time.
I see. I see. Okay.
So for me to be able to survive certain, but if I have a 1.357, the trade has to work less to hit the target in pips. But because I use 1.25, my trades has to work harder to hit that TP. But because I'm doing manual trades also, I can judge where I need to place my buy and sell limits.
Okay.
But
it makes sense because you will want your EA or your positions that were placed by the EA to close quickly because your manual trader is going to be the one that's running more. So it makes sense.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
You know, and for me, it's about reducing the drawdown. Now, the 1.357 is going to increase your drawdown. And for me, I'm about reducing my risk.
Right.
So there is a balance between finding that balance. And so I've come to I'm actually putting some structure into what your starting lot should be and what should your maximum lot be based on a 1.357, because I don't want to overcomplicate it with the multiplier. And then I'm not sure if you've heard other things that I've been saying is setting daily targets and daily max loss.
Right.
That's going to help you because the EA can only do so much.
Right.
So when you're running the EA, it's not intuitive. It's not going to understand what's happening. It's following a sequence of grids. So we already know just before the Asian session, I think New York Eastern, about 7 p.m. your time, is the optimal time to switch it on. And you let that run, I think, till probably about your 2 a.m. So, if you really want to take advantage, you can increase the starting lot. But as long as
starting lot that you recommended, 0.05, I should increase it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
or
exactly. So on 50K, you can increase that during the Asian session if there's no news. So just watch out. Like, for example, if we had news yesterday, we can see that on the chart here. We had that volatility. I would not increase the following day. I will wait to the following day once all that has gone and disappeared and we've got a little bit more stability in the market. So for example, here we've seen a lot of choppiness. Yeah, I can open that up, give that 4 hours running runtime. I can probably increase that to 0.06. I don't know if you heard also, it's like, for example, you're not going to take a Ferrari four-wheel driving. And what I mean by that is if you have a Ferrari in the Asian session, if you have like I don't know, four-wheel drive car in the Asian session, which can handle these ups and downs, you're not going to take that four-wheel drive onto the racetrack because you're going to get demolished with all this crazy movement. So it's about picking those sessions to trade.
Right.
For example, I put a lot of work into this, and I was just saying to the guys before, understanding, having your daily targets and your maximum loss, right? Understanding what 6 open positions will do to your drawdown. And once you're in those 6 open positions, how far does the EA need to go to hit your TP? And how far does it need to go to hit your equity stop?
The spike that happened, was it on Monday or I don't remember, but you have it highlighted here because I can never forget this spike in my life. So, I noticed this spike is, to me, it went from let me see if I'm looking at it right, like 782 to 193, 195, something like, but that's not really a high impact that. So when I looked at how far it went, I mean, I've dealt with even NFP spikes. We're talking about gold going from 1800 to straight 1900. You understand?
Yeah.
Like the spike is more severe. So I was so shocked.
It should not. Everybody should survive this.
My account did not.
And this is concerning because you should be able to survive a 1,500 pip move.
Right. That's why I was so surprised. But guess what? I like you, I also test. So I tested, thank God, gold did a big spike down yesterday, which is worse than that spike of December 1st. But I used V4, the old V4 on it. And it survived on a 10K account. The highest drawdown that I saw with that spike from gold dropping down yesterday was literally only like $200. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I said, but this V5 couldn't even survive this small spike that happened. It took me by surprise, honestly. It took me by surprise. I tried to see if there was any type of, clues, because I'm also a manual trader as well. try to see any clues, scale down from the 15-minute to the 1 minute to see if there was any type of like crazy movements that was going to, indicate that type of spike. But if you kind of step back and look at that spike really is not that bad.
It wasn't that bad. And
It
it's that
wasn't that bad.
stop loss that you just switch off.